Hello and welcome back. Today we have in studio my dearest Stacey. She owns a home cleaning business that she started about a year ago. And today we're going to talk about how to earn $100,000 a year in profit with a home cleaning business. It's totally possible. Stacey's been in business, like I said, for about a year. In her first year, she profited $60,000. First year of ever owning a business. First year doing anything really entrepreneurial, $60,000 in profit. So I did the calculations. She hasn't seen these yet. And I'm going to kind of go over the numbers as to what it would take to earn $100,000 a year in profit with her cleaning business, and then kind of get her take on that. Okay, what would she need to do in order to make that happen? Then I'm going to give some suggestions as well. So let's just jump right in. Just as a recap, in her first year, she did $85,000 in revenue, $60,000 of which was profit. So she had a profit margin of 70.5%, which is insane. We have another video on that kind of goes over her expenses and her first year. It was pretty mind-blowing how profitable it was. And I think like a lot of people, they assume the supply cost for a cleaning business is going to be really high. And we found out that's just simply not the case. Like 1% of the sales went towards supplies. So to get to $100,000 a year profit, she would need $142,000 a year in revenue with that same profit margin. So we're assuming she does everything the exact same, which she's on just about every job with a select few, just sending someone out to do the job for her. Oh, and by the way, Stacey has started a YouTube channel. So all future cleaning business videos are going to be on her channel. She's going to talk about her business, talk about being a female entrepreneur. I guess I can give you the stage here just for a little bit to talk about what you're going to do on your channel.
Yeah, I kind of just want to start a channel and be, I guess, a role model. I've had several people that have reached out to me and they've seen our videos together and they thank me for sharing my journey. And I think that so many people, had I had someone to like kind of follow along as they were starting their business or anything, that would have been really helpful. So I'd like to be a role model and help as much as I can through these videos, and just kind of, be a good influence.
Yeah, she finally received enough messages to start a YouTube channel. So she's finally starting the channel. So go and subscribe to her if you're at all interested in entrepreneurship, business owner stuff. She's gonna be doing it all. Give her a follow. The link will be in the description as well. It'll be worth the follow. All right, so back to this. Now that we got that out of the way, go subscribe. Okay, so to get to $100,000 in profit, $142,000 in revenue is needed. So that's a 67% increase in sales over her first year, which sounds like a lot. That is a lot. That's a huge increase, especially when she was already working all the time, basically. Yeah. But we have to remember that the beginning of the year is her really just figuring things out, starting to get clients in place, get that reoccurring revenue in place. So when I was going over these numbers, I realized going off for the year isn't really the best way to do it because she was so much busier in the second half of the year. So in the last 6 months, she averaged $8,700 a month and some change. So if we multiply that by 12, that already is $104,600 in revenue if she did absolutely nothing different on a month-by-month basis. So, in the next year, she would expect $104,000 in revenue. So from there, she'd only need to increase revenues $38,000 or about $3,000 a month in increased revenue to profit $100,000 a year. So doing some more, do you have any thoughts on that before I...
No, keep going.
She hasn't seen any of these numbers.
Let's hear it.
And luckily, she does all of her financial statements, so this was really easy for me to put together. Okay, so we also want... The dog. So we also want this to be reasonable. We don't want to have to work 7 days a week to make this happen. If she worked 7 days a week, she could make it happen right now without changing anything. So the way I figured this was 5 days a week of cleaning work. So $142,000 in revenue, and there's 260 working days in a year. That comes out to $546 a day in revenue that she needs to profit that $100,000, which from the outset doesn't sound that crazy.
No, because I've definitely had a few of those days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you
it's
come home all the
definitely
time. You're like $500 a day, $700 a day,
Yeah.
$600 a day.
Yeah.
Do you have like a record day?
Somewhere in the thousands. I want to say it may have been 1,000 or 1,100 maybe.
$1,100, one
Yeah.
crew,
Yeah.
you and one other person. That's pretty crazy. Also, 70% profit. So
It was a 14-hour
That's
day, I believe.
$700 to
Before it was.
$800 in profit
Yeah.
in one day. Cleaning houses.
Cleaning houses.
Not glamorous, but
It's not
you
glamorous.
can make some cash.
Yeah.
So she needs to make $546 a day to get that $100,000 a year in profit. Right now, she charges $85 an hour. So 546 divided by 85 is only 6.4 hours a day where she needs to be on the clock getting paid by a client, which seems totally doable and actually pretty reasonable if you figure you want to do about an 8-hour day and she has some drive time.
Right.
So it's actually not unreasonable to be able to do that in a day. If she were to bump that up to $100 an hour, she'd only need to do 5.4 hours a day to get that $100,000 a year profit. It's a little bit
pretty
harder.
good.
Yeah, no kidding.
That sounds nice.
A little bit harder to get clients at $100 an hour, but I don't think impossible. She has a couple of people who are willing to pay that much, and plus she's got really good reviews at this point. I think it's possible. So, I mean, really, that's about it. I mean, do you have any initial thoughts on the feasibility of it? No matter what, it's a lot of work. She's going to have to work a lot of long days to make it happen. But
Right. Yeah, it's definitely doable. Let's do it.
You're the one,
Let's work.
You're the one who has to
I know.
do it.
No.
Okay, so my initial thoughts on, okay, what would she need to do to make this easier? First one is increasing rates. I think if she increases her rates, then, if you increase your rates 10%, you have to do 10% fewer jobs and make the same amount of money. So that's easy enough. Also, if you think about like, okay, I'm going to increase my rates from $85 an hour to $100 an hour, that's a $15 increase. That's straight profit. And that might be how much you made in total per hour at a job, 5 years ago or whatever.
Right.
And that's just the increase in rates. It's crazy to think about it
Yeah.
that way. And then the only other thing I've been thinking about is increasing marketing, because she really does know marketing. It's all word of mouth, which is great. It's a great, the best way to get clients is just by doing a good job. But if she just did a little bit more, especially in-person marketing, that would have no expense to it. Or maybe now might be the time to start doing some either online ads or different kinds of marketing to kind of increase sales. She can afford it at this point anyways. Do you have any like initial ideas on how you could make it happen?
Definitely start quoting higher. So I do think that if I'm at the $95 to $100 per hour rate, then that'd be the first. That'd be ideal. And I've been thinking about increasing my rates. There's also another. So having more houses in the same area. So I have so many days where I have a lot of travel time, and ideally you want to have 3 to 4 houses in the same area, and then that would be a full 8-hour day. So less travel time, and it just makes more sense. It's easier. So
Yeah, that's something
talking to
definitely.
neighbors.
The efficiency end is something you've gotten better
Yeah.
with, because she used to
Yes.
have one job on one side of town, the other one an hour away, all over the place. She'd stop at the store every single night for an hour. So a lot of it is like, okay, how can I take these things that are draining my time every day or every week and kind of combine them so I can save, even if you're saving an hour a month on this, on that adds up. At the end,
does.
you try to. One of my office workers out here, she gives me a hard time all the time because I'll fill up my water bottle at the same time as I go to the bathroom every single time instead of doing like 2 separate trips. So I might be a little bit on the far end of trying to get the efficiency, but that's just the way to think, to
It is.
just
Yeah.
get more out of your time.
Right. Yeah.
So,
time
yeah.
goes by very fast. So
Yeah. So limiting that drive time is
Yeah.
huge, because you're not getting paid for that time. Maximizing how much you can earn per hour across the whole day, counting drive time. That might be the better kind of metric to look at, how much you earn per hour the whole
Yeah.
time you're gone.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yep.
Might have to do more on that on your channel.
Yeah.
So you have another idea on how to
I do.
make it happen?
bigger jobs. So a lot of my big jobs come from realtors. So these are all going to be the move-in cleans, move-out cleans, and those are very time-consuming jobs. So that price tag is going to be a lot higher. So just kind of communicating more with realtors. I pretty much have about 4 realtors that I get a lot of jobs through, and I just always show up and do a good job, and they keep sending me more and more clients and customers. So other things to think about would be Airbnbs and VRBOs and other commercial accounts. Those are all going to be the Airbnbs. A lot of people are always staying in those. So I have a few accounts, and I will say I have at least 2 or 3 cleanings per week from those. So that's a lot.
Yeah, that adds up.
Yeah.
So back to the realtor real quick.
Yeah.
With realtors, do you find that they are having you clean to show the house, or why exactly are realtors having you clean?
A number of reasons. So first would be to show the house. So someone's still living there. The house isn't clean enough to be shown, so it needs to be cleaned, and then they have to have the photographers come in and take pictures, and then they put it up and they, sell it. Other ones for the move in and move out. So vacant homes that have been, they're not ready to be moved into. Their clients have already visited the house. It's not up to standards. They need to have a reliable cleaning company that they can then have come in and clean the house.
So in that case, the realtor's paying you.
Yes.
Okay. And then in the first case, the realtor's basically saying, hey, if you want to get the top dollar for this house, hire this company.
Yep.
Okay. So thinking about it, kind of flipping it, if you were to market to realtors, because you can get in front of realtors, you can go to real estate offices, you can sponsor lunches, you can sponsor breakfasts, you can go and talk in front of their classes. They do like educational stuff. Like realtors and their associations want money, and they want free stuff, and they're willing to hear you talk for a few minutes for that. So the way I would frame that is sponsor a few lunches or however you want to get in front of them, and frame it like you're solving a problem. You're getting top dollar, or at least more money for your clients by hiring my reliable service. So then they can look at you like just another tool in your tool belt.
Another tool, exactly.
Provide a better service for their clients, and that's a much easier sell.
Yeah.
So that's definitely, I would focus on that. And then, back to the Airbnbs. You have a few that are, a couple $100 a clean multiple times a week. And that adds up real quick. And sometimes they're real quick. Sometimes they're long jobs.
Yeah, that just depends on the guest. But, if you continue to do a good job at those, then they'll keep having you come back. There's always, people are always staying at those still. So.
Yeah, and you've said in the past too that like some of the Airbnb people don't want to pay very much money, but then a lot of times what happens is they'll pay a cheap company, get cheap service, and then they're willing to bump that up.
Yep.
Like you were saying, one of your main Airbnbs, they used to pay their old cleaner like $100 per clean, and you charge $200 per clean.
Yep.
But they don't have to worry about it because you're always on top of it. It's done. It's one less thing for them to worry about. So it's worth paying that extra money, even though they have less profit at the end of the day.
Exactly. So I just have to be on my game always. So
in order to get there, in summary, get in front of more real estate agents, sponsor a few lunches, things like that. I'm not sure if you've cracked how to get more Airbnb clients.
I haven't, so if anyone has any ideas on that.
Yeah, it's all been word of mouth so far.
Yeah, it has.
Same with commercial accounts, kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
I think with commercial accounts, it's a matter of if you went and talked to, 100 property managers and people who deal with that kind of thing, you'd get 5 accounts. It's just a matter of, being out there and
being out there and doing that. Yeah, exactly.
Raising the rates and then trying to bundle clients all together in one day.
Yep. Yeah.
So there you go. $100,000 in 1 year profit. Hopefully we check back in a year and she's just blown that out of the water.
Right, yeah.
No problem. But I think it's doable. So again, go and follow Stacey's channel. She's going to have tons going on there. Her goals, her potential entry into real estate because of the cleaning business. A lot of cool stuff. So
yeah,
go and subscribe.